Without Goodwill, I don't know where me and my kids would be.
I'm very, very thankful for my employment here at Goodwill. It's really done a lot for me and my family.
Goodwill opened up doors for me and new opportunities.
My name is Theresa Goff.
I'm Donovan Parker.
My name is Carrie Atkins.
I was in a marriage that didn't last, so I was basically on my own with my kids. So I went from being married, happily married, to single mom. So things got really, really tough for us. Making ends meet became extremely difficult. Struggling, can't pay bills, kids needing things, and I couldn't provide for them. And so I needed to find work. For about 5 years, I worked odd jobs, and I finally found one that I really liked, working for a company. I was there about 9-10 months, and I got laid off. That's when the recession hit, and I got laid off, and we was right back to square one. I just realized that I couldn't do it by myself. There was no income coming in, except for the unemployment, which was extremely little for a family of 4. So I started Googling homeless shelters for women and children. When I started packing up, my kids were asking a lot of questions. They knew we were about to move, so I told them that we were going to a special place for mommies and kids, and that this place was going to help mommy get back on her feet. And I told them that we'll be living there just temporarily.
I got divorced. I went through a really bad relationship. It was, emotionally and physically abusive. My ex-husband got on drugs real bad. I did leave the marriage. I had basically been left destitute, and I did not have a job at the time. I was a stay-at-home mom with my children. I had one that wasn't quite 2 yet. I had an 8-year-old, and I had just had a newborn. So it was very scary, very scary. I ended up moving away for 6 months with my children, completely by myself, away from anyone I knew, any relatives or anything, because I knew if I was going to become independent and do what I needed to do, I needed to get focused on, getting my life straightened out and getting things, into perspective so I could be, better able to take care of my children. Things got a little rough for me, being away from everyone. So I ended up coming back to Palatka after about 6 months. I panicked.
I was in New Jersey, and my job wasn't going so good, so my brother's down here in Florida. I moved down here and stayed with him and started going to school. I was filling out applications online, going places, filling them out, going down to the Goodwill job junction every day, looking at the job board. It wasn't fun. It was kind of a hassle, going on interviews and telling them basically about my background, and I had a trouble pass, and I wanted to start fresh.
Well, Donovan came in for an interview. Of course, I pulled his resume from the job junction. And pretty much the thing that stood out about Donovan was that he was very sure of himself. I never forget he told me that whenever you're ready for me to start, I'm ready to start yesterday. And he was really trying to find himself. He was trying to make a mark. He knew that there was more for him out there. He just hadn't found that avenue. He was just looking for work, and not a lot of people was hiring him. And one reason is because people was judging a book by its cover. A lot of people didn't think he could physically do the job. And all he did was he asked me, he said, just give me a shot, and I promise that I won't let you down. And that's exactly what he did.
Theresa came to us through Trinity Rescue Mission. She found herself unemployed, and she had no means of supporting her family, very little means of supporting her family. So she made a conscious decision to move into Trinity Rescue Mission, and from there they referred her to Community Connections of Jacksonville.
Goodwill and Community Connections have long had a symbiotic relationship here in Jacksonville, and we're both members of the Emergency Services Coalition. They're providing that housing piece and some counseling around family And Goodwill, of course, we narrowly define our mission as helping individuals get jobs.
My case manager with Community Connections, she told me about a job fair. I went to the job fair and I learned about a position with Goodwill.
I ran into her, she was coming out the door because I was coming back from a meeting, but I knew who we were interviewing and everything, and she had this smile and this step that, you know, showed that she had energy and all that, and I said hi to her and we got in a conversation.
So nervous. I've never ever been on an interview like this before, so I knew I had to really sell myself because I really wanted this. I needed this.
We were looking for somebody who had some enthusiasm and drive and would enjoy the job and could be friendly to people and would be on top of things. Got to know her and really thought she'd be a great candidate for Goodwill.
When I got back to Palatka, I went down to WorkSource and signed up for some cash assistance, and they also gave me some food stamps for a while. In order for me to get my daycare, I had to do volunteer program through them, and they brought me to Goodwill to do the volunteer service.
When I first saw Carrie, I was doing one of my routine visits to the Palatka store, and I came in and I noticed her right away. She was working hard. She wasn't currently an employee with us, but she was really moving and looked like she took pride in what she was doing. I asked the store manager about Carrie, and I had her fill out an application and interviewed her that day.
I was hanging clothes for them as a volunteer, and she saw, I guess, my work performance, and I got hired like that day.
When I first met Donovan was working for the grounds department. He approached me and said that he had gone to school to do some air conditioning work, and said that when the chance came up, he'd like to have the opportunity to switch jobs.
Working in grounds wasn't fun. It was hot, a lot of hard work, sweating, walking around, but it wasn't bad.
Donovan worked harder than everyone else, and he was always working, whether it was pulling weeds, and that's really what his job was when he first started in grounds. But the thing that stands out most about him is that he works from the time he gets in to the time he leaves. He's been working for me now over a year and a half, and he has never called out one day. I will never forget when Donovan told me he was in school, and I was like, "You're in school too?" And he said yes. And I remember when he graduated, he called me. He said, "Delta, got my certificate and I'm graduating." And there was a job open over at physical facilities. And he said, "Do you think I should talk to them?" I said, "Go for it." And he did, and he got the position. So he worked for the university 5 days a week, worked for Goodwill 2 days a week, which was 7 days. And then he went to school full time.
While working 2 jobs and going to school, I was tired, but I got up every day and went to school, came to work, and just kept on until I finished school, got through with school and got my certification.
He walked in the door and handed me an envelope and said, "Here's my credentials, and I'm ready to go to work when you'll accept it." And so I just said to him, "Well, let me go through the application process and see where else we were." And we settled on Donovan. He was very persistent, ready to try something different. You could tell in his attitude that he was going to be a good worker.
Part of my motivation for changing and straightening out my life was my 2 kids. I knew I had to do the right thing to be a good role model for them.
Goodwill has just opened up doors for Donovan that I don't think that he would have gotten in a lot of other places.
Theresa has a drive to make sure that she makes her life and that of her children's the best that she can. And the fact that she has a great work ethic and she actually comes to work every day on time, and knowing that she is a parent of 3 small children and she manages it. And it's very impressive to me.
We had a home that was donated to us. The home is in Springfield, and Theresa is one of the families who we considered for the home. We've never had anyone to donate a home to us for someone to live in. We decided with the owners that this home would go to a person or family who really had done a great job in the program, who actually had graduated from the program. We chose Theresa because she has a larger family, she's followed all the rules of the program, and she embodies success.
The house is gorgeous. It's very pretty. It's charming. It's a nice neighborhood. 2-story, newly remodeled. 4 or 5 places. My kids love the house.
She has taken very good care of her kids. She's always kept her appointments, and she's really done a wonderful job in being determined to be the best that she can be.
Teresa's come full circle. She's a contributor, and she's one of those folks that now helps the mission work. And we don't think of her as somebody we've helped. We just think of her as a regular person who's here at Goodwill to do their job. And we're enthusiastic about her, and she's enthusiastic about her work.
I can finally keep my head above water.
Carrie has really blossomed. She's taken every opportunity that she's had here and run with it.
I made key holder, which is the lowest management position. I did that for 10 months, and then I made assistant manager. And I was the assistant manager here for probably another year or so. And then I got offered a store manager position in Palm Coast store. So, and I did that for a year. Well, actually, I did that for about 10 months, and then I came back to Palatka store manager.
She's consistent, and she's goal-oriented. She is a fair person. She treats her staff well, and that goes a long way.
The biggest thing is to keep the team focused, that we are a team, because we wouldn't, be able to do anything or be who we are without, the teamwork. So I also, especially think I'm where I'm at today because of my team.
What's good about Carrie is she works hard right alongside them. She leads mostly by example, so they follow her energy and her work. She's been a pleasure to work with, and the store's going to hit its $1 million for the first time this year.
That is a huge accomplishment, especially for a small town like Palatka. The only other stores that we have that are doing $1 million is Gainesville, Jacksonville Beach, and St. Augustine. So to be coming from such a small community, for her to have brought the sales to that level is simply amazing.
Just about 6 months after I came back, we were able to purchase our first home. The home that I purchased is 3-bedroom, and I'm remarried now, so we needed the extra room. We were expanding our little family. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without Goodwill. I mean, this has just been like the best opportunity that's ever happened to me, and I can credit everything that I have done through my employment here at Goodwill. And I do believe that I'm not done growing. I believe there's still a lot of potential there. And I, do want to instill on my children, that when you think you're down and out, there are opportunities. You just got to take them.
Well, Goodwill's mission is to help individuals find jobs, and the stores are obviously the way we make our money to help that happen. And if we don't get the donations from the individuals in our territory, we can't make the money in the stores, and we can't help folks get jobs. So it's instrumental that we have individuals working for us who can make a good impression on our donators, and then they are enthusiastic about supporting Goodwill and its mission.
Without Goodwill, I don't know where me and my kids would be.
Goodwill opened up doors for me and new opportunities.
I'm very, very thankful for my employment here at Goodwill. It's really done a lot for me and my family.